Welcome, everybody, to Skill Sets Required to Succeed as a Freelance Medical Writer. This presentation today is going to go through the top skills that you will need as a freelance, but it is applicable to anybody in the field of medical writing, whether you're doing it as freelance or as full-time, because it's still part of the business and all these skills are transferable. So my name is Tiffany Riley. Hi, I am a pharmacist by trade, but I have a lot of other skills and interests. Currently, I am still a pharmacist practicing currently in oncology and infusion, and I am also a writer as well, freelance. So freelance is just the perfect fit for me at the moment because I get to write and practice pharmacy, stay on top of all my clinical knowledge, and be like in the loop of what's going on, especially in the oncology sphere. And then writing is there, whether I'm writing in oncology or writing about something else, it really all feeds on each other. I've also been an adjunct professor, precepting pharmacy students and doing a lot of training of people in pharmacy, and then also teaching through Prospology for medical writing. So I love to teach and I like to share what I know and help others grow in the process. Also, I'm an artist, mostly painting, illustration, and I love to creatively solve other people's problems. So to get started, the first transferable skill in medical writing is being okay asking for help. Asking for help is perfectly acceptable. You're jumping into this world or you're just starting a new topic and you may not know, understandably, everything about it. So it's perfectly okay to understand your own limitations. And this will definitely save you time later. You don't want to ever pretend to know everything because that's not possible to do. So it's not possible to know everything, right? Especially in the world of medicine and health, like things are always changing and you never know the whole story too. So be okay with asking for help. And of course, you want to do your research first, but if you're stuck, or you're not sure about something, make a note of it. And then it's okay to have like a short list of questions for clarification on a client project. They might present you with something and you're like, oh, I don't know a whole lot about multiple sclerosis or what the goal objective of this project is, but here's what I do know. Here's what I need clarification on. And here's what I definitely like don't know that I would appreciate some resources for. And I've done that too. Like, I'm ready to go on this. Please help me clarify these specific questions, being very specific and calling out what you may not know. And then later on, or also on that list is, I'm not sure what you want here. Do you have any examples? Are there any resources that the client would prefer to reference? Are there any research articles? Or is there a certain place that you would advise me to look for something? So don't be afraid to ask for help. Also, knowing the name and the contact information of the project manager is a great resource to have, and get that from the beginning, right? When you get assigned something like, thank you, I'm so excited to work on this, or I look forward to working on this. You don't want to be too eager all the time. Who is my point of contact? Who's the project manager that will be taking on this that will be available to me? And it's good just to have that one point person. That way, if there's some question that comes up, and you're approaching a deadline, you want to get quick feedback from, that's your go-to person. So have that person, develop a line of communication with them that's very easy, whether that's through like a one email chain you have on that project. That's a great place. Sometimes if it might be super urgent, they can text you or have your information. So get that point of contact. And sometimes it's different for different projects. Like if you have one client you're working with, but you're doing like 2 or 3 projects with them, they may have multiple project managers. So you got to know Emily is in charge of this project, but Mary is also doing this one. Be organized, as I'm sure all of you are. Express humility and gratitude often. Again, there are going to be things you don't know, especially if you're just starting out, or you're broadening your scope of your projects and there's something that you've never done before, which is kind of exciting, but also scary. There will be people out there who will take you under their wing and show you what to do, how it's done. I've been so grateful to have some great project managers over the past few years I'll let them know, like, can you help me with this? I'm not 100% sure I know what to do. And I want to make sure this turnaround is as quick as possible. And they'll say, okay, we're just going to jump on a 10-minute call. And then they share their screen. And then once they show me, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I know exactly what you want. And then I'm set. I'm like free to run. So even a 10-minute call can make a huge difference. And don't be afraid to ask your point person for clarification. And lastly, reciprocity. Help others when you're in the position to do so. So pay it forward. I was in this position 2 years ago when I was in Prospology, and there were so many people that I would watch, and I was like, wow, they're doing so great. And they would just so openly and kindly help me just getting started. And even if it was just a little bit of encouragement or just like talking to them about their experiences, like it really meant a lot. So always like cultivating this culture in medical writing, which is such an amazing field of helping each other, because as we continue to help each other, we're really like collectively helping the field and progressing medical communications. The next couple are very important for you building your business, networking, just like this conference today that you're all here part of, is there are opportunities to meet like-minded people and prospective clients if you look for them. So this is a great opportunity to meet other freelance or full-time medical writers and learn from them, not necessarily like to get clients, because really we're just trying to make connections with other people and learn and grow in our own skin too. But finding prospective clients may be a very beneficial like side effect of attending these networking events with other freelance medical writers, because sometimes you can get referred a job. If someone else knows somebody who's available to work on a certain topic or a certain deliverable, you may be referred that. So networking is a great thing to do in the field, and it is a tight-knit community. And I think that like meeting other people is just one of the best things you can do. It's also just kind of nice to meet other people, especially if it's all virtual and you don't have a lot of community where you live. Then annual conferences are an amazing resource, or regional meetings. If there's like a AMWA group where you live, then connect with those writers. Pop-up events like this are great as well. And personally, I prefer like smaller, intimate meetings, because you can really connect with other people on a not as much of a superficial level. I feel like you really get to know them, what they're interested in, how they got to where they are, where they want to go. And it's again, quality over quantity. So you could say like, oh, I went to an event and I only talked to like 2 people, but like those 2 people may be just a great resource for you to have for years to come. And that's much better than, meeting like 20 people where they don't really remember you, like there's no follow-up, you don't keep in contact. So quality over quantity, and over time, you will have more quantity with consistency. Leveraging virtual network opportunities, mentioned during the networking hour I just popped in on about an hour ago. Engaging on social platforms is sometimes a great resource for people, whether that's LinkedIn, which is pretty popular, or other platforms as well, to build new connections. So just be consistent with that. And once you do that, it kind of just becomes a habit, and people are like, oh, I like your post, or I've seen what you do. And you can kind of make connections over time that way. Meaningful connections. Relationship building. So again, looking for long-term repeat work comes from building great relationships with clients and other freelancers. It's all part of the network, and putting yourself out there authentically is what will, I think, keep you going and then keep your business going too. So they will trust your opinion and know you're reliable. Once you start getting testimonials, that was a game changer for me. So for my website and my LinkedIn, I think once you start getting some really solid testimonials, like then a new person that's looking for a writer, they'll find you and they'll think, oh, cool. Like this person has so-and-so, advocating for them, like I feel much more comfortable approaching them and asking them if they're open to take on any new projects at this time. So, but I will say, like, getting some of those first testimonials, like sometimes it just takes time and work, and put in the time and the energy, and it will come initially. But once you get it, like building off of that will be a lot easier. And again, being authentic no matter what. So what sets you apart from others, and how will clients remember you? Again, it really comes down to like you knowing yourself and what you have to offer, and just putting that out there. Okay, marketing. Something that I was like kind of not really that gung-ho about, I guess, when I first started writing, because I'm like, I'm a pharmacist. I'm a writer. Like, I'm not like a salesperson. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to sell what you're doing. And the way that you put it off can really change your projection of your business. So knowing who you are, getting a clear idea of your niche and your messaging is key. Your brand identity, taking a highly targeted approach to self-promotion. Again, if you don't talk about yourself and your skills, like no one else will know what you do. So you have to put yourself out there, and in a shameless kind of way, like, this is what I've done. This is what I'm good at. Here's my portfolio. Contact me if you're interested. And just being really excited about that, and people will notice. So having that confidence. Exploring multiple marketing avenues. There's some excellent marketing strategists through Prospology that know a lot more about this than me, but they're a great resource. And if one thing isn't working for you, then maybe something else it will, as far as marketing goes and reaching the best client base. Again, being consistent, authentic, and purpose-driven. Know what is an immediate yes and what is an immediate no. Something that I thought about when I was just starting my business is, and this was from another freelance medical writer that was starting out too, they really inspired me, is they had on their desk, on their board, was like non-negotiables. So like, what is most important to them? Like, whether that's time with family, time to take care of myself. For me, it might be like being able to learn new things and really deliver on what I'm passionate about. But like the whole work-life balance, if that's non-negotiable for you, then obviously you wouldn't want to take on a client who wants you to work like all the time or has unrealistic expectations. So having your non-negotiables of what your values are as a person and what you want to bring to your business is very important. So setting that foundation. And then that's going to drive your marketing too. It's going to be like, this is what I want to do. And then those people that are looking for that will find you. Okay, so if you have not already, consider joining the Thriving and Free Medical Writing Program. I did it 2 years ago. No regrets whatsoever. It was one of the best things I did. And there's a wait list. Sophie also has two newsletters and a Sunday night email through Prospology, where she shares like inspiring stories and like personal growth, which I love to look forward to every week.